Hey everyone, got an exciting video here today. We're gonna unbox and shoot G5 Deadmeat and the Ballistic match points. We're gonna do a little 2-for-1. I'm gonna get a first impression of the G5 Deadmeat and the Ballistic match points, and then you guys are gonna get the impression because we're gonna do it live. We're gonna see how they shoot, if it's the right application for what I want. But I'm just gonna walk through that with you guys and share kind of how it goes. So what we got here is a G5 Deadmeat. This is a 100 grain mechanical broadhead, and the Ballistic match point field points. So G5 is making these. The intent is that it's really easy to practice and then go to the field and hunt. And you're going to get similar performance from the two. So I'm interested in that. A lot of people are using these with tremendous success. I think you'll see a lot of names out there, a lot of videos where people are using these, and so there's a reason, likely. But I'm curious for myself how it goes. I'm compelled to try them. Obviously, I got them here. So this will be exciting. Now, I do want to say one thing. This is all happening as is. I'm not editing or doing any kind of dressing up. I have no bias towards I need this to work or I don't really want this to work. I'm trying this out. I'm interested in it. I hope it works. But you guys are getting the first just raw impression. So we're just gonna do this and see what happens. So another thing I want to talk about, this is kind of crazy. I might lose some of you right here, but I want to tell you how I got these. So both of these combined right here, it's about $70 worth of stuff. You may be thinking, oof, I don't think I have 70 bucks to just throw at new broadheads when the ones I have are kind of working. I was in that boat. But I want to share just the kind of ins and outs of how I got these. I think it's a fun sidebar. Long story short, Kyle's a little more of a pioneer in this vein. I just share it with everyone and utilize it heavily. I've found a few things on my own, but guys, Kyle is he's the guy finding all these crazy ways to get stuff. But basically how we got these is there is an ads kind of buyer marketplace called Rakuten, which a lot of you guys probably think, oh, that sounds sketchy, because you see advertisements for it or you hear about it. It's all spam. But Rakuten had just randomly a new account would get $40 off their first purchase. And one of the qualifying marketplaces was Bass Pro. So we grabbed a Rakuten account, and this is legitimate. We went over to BassPro.com and ordered these things. Kyle got some different broadheads. I got these. And lo and behold, look at this. Look, they sent me a check for 40 bucks to my house, to my door. I cashed this. They just gave me 40 bucks. No strings attached. I don't have to use it again. Yeah, I get some spam, but 40 bucks. So that's how we got these. That's how I got them. I think it was pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to say go check out Rakuten, but it worked for us. All right, so let's get these guys on. Let's check them out. Yeah, I got some pliers here. This plastic, it's a challenge, but we're gonna get it. All right, so immediately noticing these guys are pretty intricately designed. This is pretty cool looking. And then with the broadheads, you get a ballistic match point. You get this included if you get the broadheads, so you don't have to make a purchase of the broadhead and then the match point specifically and separately. You get one of these regardless. So this is cool. If you wanted to do this a little bit more expedited, just get the broadheads and you get one of these and you can shoot it to see how it'll land. Theoretically, that's what we're validating. So that's cool. So I got these three. Got the first BMP ballistic match point, and then I'm going to open these ballistic match points, and we're going to throw these on 3 arrows. So I'll have 3 arrows with my field point that I normally shoot, that I shot at TAC, that I'll shoot any 3D with, or just the daily at-home shooting. And then we'll have 3 with these BMPs on it. And so first we're going to evaluate where my field points land. And I'm thinking that we're going to do a couple of distances and walk it back. And then we're going to shoot those same distances with the BMPs and see if there's a difference. And we might need to make some adjustments with windage. We might need to make some adjustments just on the tape itself. I might move the whole body a little bit lower or higher depending on if they're falling short or falling high. But that's what we're going to do first, I think. So getting these put on. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. Look at that. So I'm going to get 3 of these. I'm not doing any glue or anything. I'm just putting them on before I shoot. As part of my process, I always just make sure my field point's tight. I just got used to doing that. So I don't ever know if they're getting loose or anything. But yeah, so I got those on. So there you have 3 of these, and then I got 3 normal field points in my quiver. So yeah, like I said, the plan, we'll go out and we'll shoot the field points. We'll walk them back to 60, and we'll shoot these BMPs to 60. Kind of figure out what's happening, what's different. I think that these are going to land a little bit to the left or right, because I think now the difference between these and my field point is I've got some more articulation right at the head of the arrow. So I think this has to be steered a little bit. I don't think these vanes have had to steer anything like this, obviously other than a different broadhead that I've shot. So I think that's going to change a little bit. And then I also, just for all you nerds out there, which I'd like to be, what's happened here is, let me get an arrow to compare. So now these field points are slightly longer than my normal field point. So if I'm looking at this mathematically, I now am shooting a slightly longer arrow. I've got a little bit more weight in a longer linear fashion at the front of my arrow, because it's further out. So the field points are both 100 grains, but now it's a little longer. So I think that is going to have some impacts to the downrange results. So that's my thoughts. And I texted a couple guys just to see what they think is going to happen. Just other guys who shoot, and I got a few responses. I think we're all kind of in the same boat. We're thinking it's going to change a little bit, but let's see how much it actually does. Let's go shoot. I'm just going to shoot a couple warm-ups. I want these groups to be as accurate of a reading as possible, so we're going to make sure we're feeling good and not putting the first arrows through expecting crazy results. So we just shot 3 to get warmed up.
First up, we're at 30 yards. We're gonna shoot the field tips, just normal. Make sure that they're on center as possible. And then we're gonna match those with the BMPs and see the effects at 30. So first we're gonna do 30. It's real hot out here and real breezy, but the breeze is not fixing the heat. But it's all right. This should still be really useful. So let's do 30. All right, guys, this is pretty exciting. So moment of truth. Here we got the BMPs. We're at 30 still. I'm gonna put these downrange at the target right next to where I just grouped my first 30 with the normal field points. Let's see if these are doing anything different. At 30, hopefully no difference. Definitely left. That could have been me. Let's finish the group. That one was closer. I might have just shot a goofy one. All right, so first 3 field points. That's kind of what I'm looking for at 30 typically. Nothing bigger than that. Now, the BMPs, we definitely spread out. This is my first shot. It was way left, didn't feel great. But these two, good release, good break, and not really too bad. Just, if anything, I would say the BMPs just gave me a wider group right then. Now we're gonna shoot 40. I got the normal field points again. Now at 40, I'm just gonna put these at the center of the target. We'll go check them out, then we'll come back and shoot the center of target again with the ballistic match point tips. So let's shoot these 3 at 40. That's not terrible for 40. Could be better for sure, but let's try the ballistics now. So 40 with the match points. Let's see what these are doing. We'll put 3 down on center of our bag target. Sometimes no shot's best shot. Just holstered that one. A little fatigue. All right. So this was the last shot. Definitely was feeling some fatigue. First 2, pretty on par with my normal field point shots as far as groups I'd expect. So got to work on this guy. I'm going to take like a 10-minute breather before I go to the next distance, but pretty good.
All right. So it took a little half time. Do want to go over some of the things I've noticed so far. The practice points definitely shoot with the same feeling and sensation as the field points. There's no detectable sound difference to me. No detectable kind of arrow flight pattern. It all just goes downrange and into the bag the same as the field point. One thing I am noticing is I can already tell for best results and evaluation of this, there's going to need to be a lot of repetition. And I think it's more repetition than I am bottling this video down into, where I'm just shooting three, going to look and compare. As you just saw, some of my releases weren't great, so I have some outliers. So my data has that human error in it, but ideally I'd like to compare great shots versus great shots, good breaks versus good breaks, and see how it compares. So I think that's so far my takeaway. It'll be fun to shoot these over time and see how they go, just at 30, 40, 50, and make sure that they're really grouping tight and I don't have anything weird about them. But so far, even with outliers, these are doing about how I would do with my field points. I didn't shoot any award-winning groups just now, and that's okay. This is just a nice confirmation kind of at halftime of this experiment that these seem to fly the same. And the concept is these fly how the broadheads fly, which is good. That means already at 30 and 40, I wouldn't really have to change anything up with my pins and my tape. My sight is set for these broadheads based on what this design offers so far. So anyway, let's go back. Let's do 50 and see kind of if we have some different results there. I took a breather, so I'm ready to make some more good shots. So let's go check it out.
Got my range reset. I'm right at 50 yards now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the match points down range. I'll do 3 of these. Let's see how they fall at 50. That's a little better. That felt good. Let's go check those out. All right. So guys, I got lucky. I almost missed. I just pulled that shot bad. I just yoinked it. Might have been a little wind, a little pull. The last shot felt awesome. My best shot. Pretty dead on too, so that's cool. And then this one's low. That's a good 8 inches low. So that was the first or the second shot. So let's group those again. I was not super pleased with all 3 of those shots as a triad. So let's shoot those again and see if we can bring it in and get a true display of where this broadhead ballistic match point's landing. So here we go, 3 more. Those were better shots as a group, so that's cool. Let's see what those are. This wind that I have is pushing arrows left. It shouldn't be pushing them more than an inch, but we're definitely a little left. That's noted. I think these match points, I think they're giving me pretty good results. If anything, as always, the biggest variable is the shooter. I'm doing some things, the wind's doing some things, the wind's doing some things. To me, I'm compensating. I'm a variable. But these are not seeming anything wildly different. If I were shooting just normal groups and they were landing like this, I'd be like, oh, average, a little below average day. Like nothing really detectable as a whole. But let's put 3 more down, see what those do. This wind is starting to sustain. This might be my distance for today, but let's see how these last 3 look. Not crazy bad or good. Let's go see them. Anything, guys. Here's a little trend. We are definitely starting to be left. Decent break on all these shots. That's just generally left and low. So I'm gonna take that note. I think that's all right, legitimate. Guys. So that I think is gonna conclude the shooting. Go from definitely have a few notes, but we've got some wind, a little bit of fatigue on my end, letting those go. But all in all, the amount that these match points landed a little low and a little left, I think is negligible based on the wind and my fatigue. I wouldn't change anything right now. I'm just gonna note those things. So the next time I shoot, I'll think about that experience, you know, that I just had just now with these and see if there's a trend. But regardless, if I'm going to hunt right now with these match points 30, 40, and 50 yards, I'd be hard pressed to change anything in my setup. Now that goes without saying, there's some validation yet with the Broadhead itself. But as far as these points, they flew very similarly to my field points, so that's really cool. I think that should be encouraging, not only to me but to you guys. Just if you're thinking about these, there's definitely some benefits there. I've shot a few Broadheads that just definitely do different things, like drastically at 30 yards even. So this is really encouraging. This is a cool system so far. I wouldn't say I'm flat out stunned, impressed, just because of my lack of consistency to put these things down there with precision. If I was having an all-out day shooting, I might be a little more stoked on these, but these are definitely like pleasing me so far as what they say they'll do. So anyway, I also want to say just one note. So I've been shooting these here at 50. I wanted to go to 60 today with these, and that was the plan. But with this wind and my fatigue, it's really hot out. I was shooting a few groups in the sun. I just, at the end of a shooting session, shooting something new at the farthest distance of the session, and for me, for 60 yards, it's just not worth it. I'll probably shoot a few and risk missing the target or something, and I just don't think I want to go there right now. And there's also a layer too, where the point of shooting these is to prepare for hunting, and I know in my head that my shots, 60 is going to be like optimistically the upper limit. In reality, I think my number going out to the field is 50 yards, and that could come down. I have to be okay with that number coming down, but either way, I'm gonna look to shoot these to 60, keep practicing. It'd be cool to have a system that goes to 60 really confidently, that matches the field points. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably shoot 60 with these soon and give some feedback, but for now, 50's been a good upper end in today's session. So either way, let's do the ultimate test. Let's throw one of the Broadheads down there into the foam and see how different it is. Here's the final play in today's process. So we're gonna put the Broadhead on. Again, I'm not doing anything crazy or fancy with how I attach these. The idea is that we're evaluating the interchangeability of these things. So got that on there. Let's see if I can execute a clean break and put this in the foam down there. I'm gonna aim a little bit high on center, just because the middle's kind of shot out. So anyway, let's see. Let's see where it lands. All right, I got a clean break. It honestly looked like it went where I wanted. So let's go see. Like I said, I was aiming a little high on center. This was about my spot. So if anything, there's still a trend to be left at 50 yards. These are definitely, like, I've got a trend to consider at these landing left. Now, so another thing I want to say that I do, I've shot most of my broadheads through this foam. Once I shoot through it, I like to take the broadhead off, so I'll unscrew it. And typically it's expanding, but I'll take it off here, obviously being careful. And then what I like to do is pull the arrow out from the other side. So you're not pulling the mechanical broadhead through the foam. You're just pulling out the shaft. So gonna conclude here. Appreciate you guys watching this far. Hopefully this has been helpful to see how this guy shoots versus a field point, and just to see my process, so that hopefully you could take the same investigation and apply a process to it with your setup to see how different the broadheads may perform versus your field points. So anyway, that was pretty fun. I was excited to see how these went, and like I said, I'm not gonna put any slander or negative notes to these or their performance. And if in summary, I think these were pretty. In summary, I think these fulfilled my expectations for what I want them to do. What I expect them to do. I want to practice with these for the next few months during and approaching hunting season, and then I want to be ready to put on the mechanical broadhead and know that it will fall similarly to these. So it's a cool step process to get to a broadhead for hunting. So anyway, as you do this experiment, as you look at different broadheads, or try them on versus your field points or your target setup, just make sure that your process to evaluate them is as controlled of an environment as possible. I think it's important to take notes as far as, is there wind? Did you get clean breaks? Were there any other factors that might have affected the results? So for me, I've got some notes. I had some things impacting my results, but all in all, I'm pretty satisfied with this system. I think it's really innovative. I think it offers a lot of things for someone who's shooting a single bow throughout the year. You know, if you don't have a target setup versus a hunting setup, this is really cool. I think this gives you some good options and allows you to maximize time practicing versus changing setups, tuning, setting up a sight tape, all these things. Obviously there's still work, but there's some advantages. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what you think. If you think this is something that you're going to use. This is on my radar for whitetail, mule deer, antelope, big game, but I don't know if I'd consider it going to elk. A lot of guys have a lot of success with this with elk, which is what makes it even more compelling to me. But regardless, let me know what you think about it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next.